All right, here are the next section of notes. These are going to be about the area and circumference of a circle. Okay, so first of all, the circumference is the same thing as perimeter, except it's for a circle. So the circumference is the distance around the outside of a circle. Okay, same thing as perimeter, except for circles, we call it circumference. Okay, a few other words there. We have all the way across and through the middle of a circle, that's called the diameter. And halfway across from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle, that's called the radius. So the diameter is twice as long as the radius, so diameter is 2 times the radius. Or if you're given the diameter and you need the radius is the diameter divided by 2. Okay? Now, the other thing with circles that's really important is this number pi. Now, pi is a magical number, and it doesn't matter which circle we take. If you take its diameter, the distance around the, if you take its circumference, the distance around the outside of the circle, and divide that by its diameter, you get this number, 3.14159, and this number is infinite. It goes on forever and ever and ever. Again, this number shows up for every circle in the universe. If you take its circumference, divide it by its diameter, you get pi. Okay, pi is a very special number. Infinite goes on forever, and I'm not going to make you do calculations with an infinite number, so we are going to round it to 3.14 on our assignment on the worksheet. And generally speaking, if you're doing any calculations with pi, you can use 3.14. If you're using a calculator, calculators, many of them have a pi button on there, and you can use that too if you'd like. But let's just stick to 3.14 in general. Okay, so the two formulas that you're going to need, the formula for the circumference, or the distance around the outside of a circle, is pi times the diameter. Okay, we just got that by rearranging this formula right here by swinging diameter up over there next to the pi. And you'll learn about all that in algebra. So circumference is pi times diameter, or pi d is often how that's written, where d is the diameter. And area is, I'm not going to show where that comes from, is pi times the radius squared. So for area we need the radius, and we're going to square that, or multiply it by itself, and then multiply that answer by pi. So pi times the radius times the radius. Okay, pi times diameter for circumference, pi r squared, pi times the radius squared for area. Okay, so let's look at how to do a few of these. On your assignment, you'll be given some circles like this with various amounts of information. You'll either be given the radius or the diameter, depending on the problem, and you're going to have to figure out some stuff. You're going to need either the diameter or the radius, depending on what you're given, plus the circumference and the area. Okay, so here our radius is 4 centimeters. The diameter is 2 times that, so that's 8 centimeters. Okay, now we're going to find the circumference. Circumference is pi times the diameter, or again, we're just going to use 3.14 for pi, times the diameter, which is 8. And let me work that out here. You may use a calculator on this assignment because some of the numbers on the problems are a little big. 3.14 times 8, and I have 25.12. Okay, just like perimeter, these units are exactly the same as the ones in the problem. So 25.12 centimeters. Okay, pi times diameter for the circumference. Now the area, that's going to be pi r squared. So we're going to use the radius for that one. So that's going to be 3.14 times the radius times 4 times the radius again. So pi times the radius, where the radius is 4. Okay, let me work that out here on my calculator. So 3.14 times 4 times 4 is going to be 50.24. Okay, and the units for area, again, are always squared. So these are going to be square centimeters, or centimeters squared, as I like to write it. You could write SQCM also if you want, but I like to do it this way with the little exponent of a 2. Okay? So here's the next one. Let's think about it for a minute. Were you given the diameter or the radius? Well, hopefully you notice that we got the distance all the way across here through the center of the circle. That's the diameter. So the diameter is 12 inches. The radius is that divided by 2. So 12 divided by 2, or 6 inches. Okay? So first things first, figure out the diameter or the radius, whichever one's missing. Here we had the diameter, so we figured out the radius. Okay, then we'll do our circumference. Circumference is pi times the diameter, or 3.14 times 12. And that is going to be, oops, that's hard to see, I'm sorry about the light, 37.68. And again, the units match what you're given in the problem, inches. They're not square inches, that's for area. Circumference, once again, is the distance around the outside of the circle. Okay, now we'll do area. Area is pi r squared. So 3.14 times r. Now here we got the radius was 6. We divided 12 by 2 to get that. So 3.14 times 6, which is 113.04. Again, it's area. We have square units for area, so it's going to be inches squared. Okay, so those are your the two main formulas for the circle, circumference and area. And hopefully that is going to be enough to get you through this worksheet. And again, please don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.